Good afternoon and welcome to Find My Lady Tribe. Cheers.
Cheers. Guess we're going to be talking about our bad habits today. Not sure if I'm going to get to keep holding on to this one.
And is it really a bad habit?
And is it really a bad habit? Only your tribe can actually tell you if it's okay to keep a bad habit, which ones you should keep, and which ones you should let go by the wayside.
Or which ones you just do with friends.
Oh, we have a lot to talk about.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Find Your Lady Tribe. My name is Brenda.
And I am Michelle.
And it's our mission to build a community of lady tribes, a place to connect and grow your tribe with resources, ideas, workshops, retreats, and events. We invite you to join our inner circle and become a tribe leader. It's free!
Each week, we will start a conversation about connecting within your tribe and across all of our tribes. Our goal is to create 1,000 new lady tribes in 2022. And each episode will challenge you with a call to action. The first one is to join our inner circle. Go to tinyurl.com/myladytribe. And as a gratitude gift, we will send you a downloadable copy of Chapter 1 of Lady and the Tribe, The Awakening.
Yay! So please subscribe to be notified of a new episode each week.
So just so you know, it is Friday afternoon where we are right now.
And that's why we've poured the wine and we've started the conversation, which we have been meaning to have.
Yeah, we actually have this conversation a lot because when we go on our individualized health kicks and everything, it's always the first thing to go, right? And
right.
It's part of the pain of the whole process of getting healthy.
It is. And I've been trying to crack the code on the perfect balance between when I'm in total health mode and there's a place where some of my bad habits can fit in with my health goals, or whether I have to be a teetotaler and a complete zero toxins of any sort at any level the whole entire time just to reach my health goals. And what's really healthy has something to do with our minds as much as it does with our digestive systems. I think this is something that a whole lot of us struggle with when it comes to what the rest of the world might consider a bad habit.
Right, because I think the jury is out that is it a bad habit or not, in moderation. Of course, if it's excessive, definitely it's a bad habit. But in a moderation, there are experts out there that probably like wine that say that it's good for you.
Oh, we can find those studies.
No, I have one right here.
Right?
I saved this issue of Wine Enthusiast or Wine Spectator. Check it out. It was all about wine and health. And I loved this episode because I'm a wine connoisseur. I used to own a wine shop. And it explains all the ways in the body that it's good for you. There was actually a diagram in here somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it to share with you, but there's a diagram and it says, and it points at this point that, wine is good for this and wine is good for that. So what year is this? Can you see it on here? This is, October
2004.
2004, back in 2004.
So we've known about the health benefits officially, legitly, since 2004 at least.
Right.
But I would say historically, cultures from past thousands of years, I mean, Jesus drank wine, right? So people have been justifying with health benefits for years, as long as alcohol or a small amount of alcohol in wine or beer doesn't challenge your health from an addictive point of view, like mental health can be an issue where me having a glass of wine around someone who is completely sober for their own reasons and their own, best health, best life, I can respect. But then I also feel bad because I don't get to do something that I enjoy out of respect for them.
Right.
And I can't even tell you how still even my mom, or worse, my mother-in-law, look at me when I have a glass of wine. Like there's some actual cultural or social judgments that come along with mild beverages,
partaking.
or even small amounts of partaking. So I just can't figure this one out on my own.
It's not like I feel like I need it, but I just like it.
Exactly. And
I just like it.
And so many of you out there have heard this conversation with us over the years, with your family, your friends, your tribe, who are trying to figure this out. And I think that the answer lies in that there is no one size fits all.
Right.
That we get to decide, as we should, without the judgments, with the competing medical information and opinion out there, that we get to own this one. We get to decide what works for us and what's healthy and best for us, and respect that for ourselves.
Right.
We're really usually busy respecting other people's opinions, particularly around any of our bad habits. But as you always say, we have to be our own best friend first. So I vote for find a way to keep the things that bring you happiness and joy, that facilitate your social fun and goodness, and don't feel bad about yourself.
I think it
own
is,
that decision.
I think it is all about feeling good. And if something truly makes you feel good, then how can it really be in the long run bad? If you are excessive about anything, you're not going to feel so good. So there's the line there.
Right. When you overdo it, your body will tell you.
We make ourselves feel bad usually for me, it's around dieting time, or trying to shed a few pounds, thinking, oh, is this going to mess up my metabolism? And overthinking it a little bit so that it's a guilty pleasure, which guilty pleasures probably do add pounds on, whereas engaged and being part of enjoying it, truly enjoying it, your body may receive it differently.
Yeah, I agree with that. We don't have a problem raising a glass of champagne at a happy occasion like our own wedding. Yet at the same time, we'll beat ourselves up on January 2nd for having the leftover champagne. It's
right.
We really shouldn't. We really should set those ideas outside and think more of, it's not whether you imbibe or not, it's the attitude and the mindset in which you imbibe, and how your body receives that in.
Yeah, and what if you are, a tribe member or a friend of someone, and you don't really like wine, and you kind of, should I shame you for it because you like it and I don't like it?
No, we shouldn't. And I've had a Women Who Wine guest who actually talked about staying away from the group because of the title of the event. And I was like, no, that could be Women Who Water.
Yeah.
That can be Women who beer. Hopefully it's not women who do hardcore vodka shots the whole time, but whatever. It's actually just holding a
placeholder.
A place
it is.
For the time together, for the part of it that actually does matter, not indicating that there's a good people or bad people in the process.
Right.
So, okay, so that's one bad habit.
Yep.
But what about that same conversation happening with friends, people we love, family, when it's more serious? What if it's more serious or detrimental to your health? How do you approach the person? We talked about this the other day. If they have a really bad habit of picking bad boyfriends or staying with someone.
The bad man habit.
The bad man habit. Okay. We just said this is my decision. I
Right.
get to own it. I don't accept judgments around it, and I stay in my power. So then, how do we not create the contradiction when it comes to looking on the outside in for our girlfriend who we think has a bad boyfriend or doesn't value her as much as we think she should value herself?
Right. Well, don't you think it? I mean, I think that it comes down to, again, the feelings. If that friend is expressing to you and complaining to you all the time about this bad boyfriend, then maybe an intervention of sorts is necessary if it just is a continuous cycle. But if we just perceive the person as a bad person, or we don't think they're good enough,
Bad influence.
I mean, honestly,
a bad influence.
it's hardly any of. I mean, just no one's that good
Nobody's
enough.
good enough
No
for
one's
you.
good enough for you or my friends, because they're special.
Right.
And so is that just me, putting my own judgment on it, or how
bad?
Is the friend?
How bad does the boyfriend have to be?
How bad do they have to be?
Are we talking like, police report and and restraining order to be qualified?
A record of some sort.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Are they on the pedophile list? That would be. We'd have to have a talk.
So breaking that bad habit, what others might also give you their judgment as being a bad habit around a bad boyfriend. Couldn't it come down to, are you willing to? Are you just lonely? Right. And would you rather accept something that isn't the healthiest thing that you could choose, like my wine, in exchange for having a healthy interaction and relationship?
It's not just enough to have a pulse.
Alone, right.
I've got a warm pulse next to me.
Wouldn't you rather be alone than be?
Yeah. The truth is, many people have a fear of being alone, so they will put up with stuff. I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think we can say that your fear of being alone or being without a partner, without a support, or not feeling completely loved, respected, etc., that there's tribe for that.
That's right.
Right? There's lots of people who love you really have no choice, no excuse to choose to be alone. There's that one doesn't fly. So if you have a bad habit that is not healthy for you, and that you're not choosing the best thing for you because of the fear of judgment or the fear of just plain being lonesome, that you can break that bad habit pretty easily with the help of your friends and recognizing those people around you.
Right. And I just have to point out, Michelle, that you keep pointing at the wine as a bad thing.
I keep saying bad.
So it's totally ingrained in you that bad, which for some people it absolutely is. It's a serious problem for some people, and they need to avoid it. But it by itself is not a bad thing. It's okay.
That's right.
Don't let her hurt your feelings.
And just because other people might judge that a person in your life is bad for you, that on its surface shouldn't affect you. It gets to be, in both cases, your choice. But what are some of the other bad habits that we tend to want to support each other in fixing that really do or don't maybe need to be fixed?
Well, I'm thinking about my own personal bad habits, and I'm going to ask you about yours, so start thinking about it. But one of my worst habits is inconsistency. That's a habit, right? My habit of inconsistency. I get on a roll with something and doing great, and then just ends. Like exercise. I don't love it. I'm just going to say, I'm putting it out there, but I do know it's important to me to stay healthy, especially as we age, we're going to age better and keep everything lifted a little higher with exercise and stuff, right? Naturally get that lift.
Sit up straighter.
But it's so easy for me to just let it get by and not get it done. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's not happening. So that's a bad habit that it's continually something that I've got to work on. What about you? Bad habit?
Be easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself.
You give yourself a hard time?
I used to, but I think that's the change that we're looking for, is like you are now identifying what has been your stumbling block for you, and not identifying it because somebody else said it, but actually what it is that it gets you. Nobody is calling you up and saying, Brenda, you're not exercising like you should be, and I'm judging you for it.
Right.
That's not happening. So I love that you're owning that. And I think that's the most important thing, is identifying the thing for yourself, whatever that is. One of mine was smoking. I had a group of friends who that was totally okay and fine with them.
Tobacco?
Like actual
tobacco?
Smoking
Cigarettes?
of cigarettes, I should say that.
Okay.
And so I never judged that. I really truly didn't. Because it was so easy. It was so easy to love them and accept them, even though we had this thing that we didn't necessarily bond over, but we weren't going to part ways over it, right? And then after that, I totally picked up in trying to get away from grabbing a cigarette with a drink or the things that we always did together, I found that weaning off of those with a vape or a Juul was a really easy thing to do. And it was a great way for breaking the nicotine habit, or the cigarette habit, but it didn't break the nicotine habit.
Oh.
And ever since then, I've been like helping others how to get off of the really bad thing, the thing that will kill you, the cigarettes, by still keeping up with the nicotine while you wean off. But whatever it is, whatever the judgment goes with it, there's good ways and there's bad ways to transition through our bad habits.
There's clearly some bad habits because some of them we judge and some of them we don't, but there's clearly some habits that we need to stop. I mean, cold turkey if possible, wean them off, whatever. And then there's other habits that are good habits. And we're going to just wrap up by sharing some of the habits that you may or may not have that you might be judging that you can actually keep. And there's some reasons why you should keep them. And then the ones that, no, these need to get out. You need to figure out a way to remove these bad habits for your well-being. So just to prove that I'm not a liar here, I found the diagram for those of you watching on YouTube. Look at all of the different ways that wine and moderate drinking can affect you. So my little justification, for example, eyes. Many studies show reduced macular degeneration, which is a common cause of blindness among moderate drinkers, especially wine drinkers.
Especially wine drinkers.
And another one, which one else did we point to? Let's see, the heart. A striking reduction in the risk of heart attack and congestive heart failure. The benefit is derived from any type of alcohol. Red wine also shows therapeutic potential in helping to avoid a second heart attack. If you read that one that I couldn't make it, all these words were hard.
The one about the circulatory system?
Yes.
Yeah, so in males and females, red wine helps keep blood vessels healthy, even in septuagenarians, which we decided was people over 70, right? Reduces inflammation in blood vessels after the smoking of cigarettes. So repair factor. And alcohol in any form reduces the risk of atherosclerotic disease of the arteries, hardening of the arteries, even down in the legs. Yeah. So red wine, antioxidant, males, females, it's good for everyone.
Resveratrol, all these great words. But anyway, so of course, in moderation, it's very important that we add that in moderation part. So there we go. So we're going to just share, first of all, we're going to share some of the bad habits, that maybe you would want to keep. And the first one is fidgeting. I don't think I'm a fidgeter. Do you think are you a fidgeter?
No, but I know some fidgeters.
So,
yeah.
But studies suggest that people who make more incidental movements, you know, the person's always bouncing their leg and they're going, and you're going, what's going on? What's moving around here? Why is something rocking while someone's shaking their leg under the table? Or they're tapping their feet, or they're getting up to run to the restroom. Well, they have an easier time maintaining their weight and their heart and lung health, apparently. So fidgeting can be a relatively healthy routine and habit, but so if you fidget, there's no need. You need to stop. But the benefits of fidgeting aren't great enough that you should start.
Great.
Yeah, so
it's not like wine.
It's not like wine. Don't start it if you aren't there already.
Okay, so here's another sort of what might be considered by some a bad habit thing, but it's okay if you keep. And that's this idea of double checking. And an example is like, you know, going back home a few minutes after leaving just to make sure that you locked the door. That's just safety and security, like not paranoia type of double checking, but more so just those things that might make you late or annoy your spouse. Those are the kind of habits that have a self-preserving effect. You know, one time into your garage door is that you go back in and your garage door is really open. Do you really have lettuce still stuck in your teeth?
Did you leave the curling iron on?
Oh my gosh.
Or the iron?
Yes, and for me with an elderly parent in the home, it's always is the stove turned off. Yeah. So it's okay to double check.
Yeah. Does it work? Is it the same problem when you just always forget something? I'm known for leaving and forgetting just one thing. And it's usually one of the most important things. I got everything else, but just that one, I got to go back. I mean, literally almost everything.
And the reason you're going wherever you're going in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to go back for that one thing.
Double check.
So a lot of times we don't think of bad habits as not doing things, but not exercising is actually one of the most common bad habits. So we're going to start talking about bad habits that you should definitely break. So exercise, that's my thing. I mean, I know I need it. I actually got a degree in exercise science and corporate fitness so that I would be forced to be in the gym and work out. I was an aerobics instructor so that I would actually show up because I was scheduled. I mean, I put these things into my life so that I have to show up. But if I don't have them, I fall off the wagon and end up not doing it.
Yeah. So if you are currently in a place that your habit is not exercising, time to find one little thing to put back into your life so that you can just break that habit. And even if it's, you know, walking the dog one block in the morning on the way to the school bus or just to the mailbox or whatever it is, just any little thing that will break that habit and open up the ability to, you know, open up the gates for your body to start to know we're going to do a little something.
Right.
Just
and
anything.
Maybe you need to listen to one of our previous episodes, The Exercise Buddy.
Yeah.
Maybe a friend would help with that, right?
Yes.
So, whatever it takes to get those good habits going. So there's even some kind of interesting and fun little things you can do, kind of considered exercise. Have you heard of face yoga?
No.
Okay.
That is not what I've heard of.
It's on TikTok. Find some face yoga people because it can give you a natural facelift. Like, okay, so do this, rub up like this, and then like this. It's like yoga, and it actually will reduce fine lines, and it's good exercise for your face. So look it up. But basically, exercise can, again, be that natural facelift, natural breast lift, natural tush lift that you may be looking for. And it takes, I'd say about 12 weeks of consistent effort to see a result. And I think that's a big part of the problem, right? you work hard and you're doing so great for weeks and a month goes by and you don't see any difference. And you're going, why am I doing this, right?
Because I feel good.
Well, or maybe that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to lose weight and it's not showing up and it's just really frustrating. So yeah, so it does take time. And that's the thing, if you go in with the mindset that this is a 12-week process to see some actual change in my body, to see the difference, then you gotta do it. What else we got?
All right, so we also would want to, let's see, the habits that you
need to
have
get rid
to
of.
break.
Yes.
I'm just going to throw in smoking. You got to break that habit if it's a habit. And I know that there are a lot of people that I love, and even our parents that we've grown up with, and that do smoke as a habit, but that's a habit to break. Okay, no judgment. Smoke when you have a drink, or smoke when you go on vacation, or in a cigar bar, or whatever it is. But if it's your habit and it happens daily, or it happens one after the other, break that habit. That's one that doesn't have any chance of prolonging your life or ever actually bringing you happiness or joy. So that's one to break.
Absolutely. Let's break that one. Definitely. And not to mention, it's annoying to other people.
Yes,
you're coming into my space with that.
I know, but we still just give grace to people who...
Or just look at them funny.
They'll get it. They'll feel it.
Sorry. Okay. So here's another bad habit. If you're doing this, you got to figure something out. Not sleeping enough. It's one of those bad habits by omission. Mm-hmm. Getting too little sleep can have some serious effects on your health and mental clarity, for sure. Research has shown that chronic sleep deprivation increases your risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, depression, heart attack, and stroke. How much sleep do we need, do you think?
Oh, at least 8 hours a night.
That's a really great goal. Definitely 8 hours is kind of like the standard. 7, I think it is okay. I think when you dip below 7,
that's when things start going wrong.
Yeah, if you, in an ideal world, you would wake naturally when you've had enough rest. And that usually, I think if you were able to get into the habit, you would find it's going to be 7.5 to 8.5 hours, somewhere in there. You're not going to normally sleep 9-10 hours like you do when you're trying to make up for lost time because you've had 5 hours of sleep for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
You can't really make up sleep.
No, you can't.
It's a misnomer that I'm going to make up for it. But you certainly do, crash, and then it's not the same.
It reminds me of how we used to have fights with our kids, toddlers, to go take the nap. And as the mother, you can absolutely see that all this bad behavior and this feeling cranky and this acting out and rage and all of that would go away immediately if the child could just surrender to sleep.
Right.
It's the same for us, but we just don't have a mother standing over us to know what the best thing for us is. We have to do that ourselves. And the best thing is get the sleep that you need. It makes everything else better. So break the habit of not getting enough sleep.
Right. Yeah. And another one is that screen time before bed. It's kind of related.
Also annoying.
Also annoying to other people.
No, if it's your partner, more annoying than smoking.
I'm the annoyer in this situation.
Bet you are.
But luckily, my husband is usually sawing logs well before I even get into bed, so I hope I'm not bothering him too much. But if you break, it's a bad habit. You get in bed and you start scrolling or checking your email. Who needs to check their email at 10, 11, 12 o'clock? Me sometimes? No, I don't need to, but I do it. It's a habit. It's a bad habit. And it's believed that light, especially from things like TVs, tablets, smartphones, all that, can affect the hormones that help us sleep. You've heard of the blue light. There's blue light that's coming from those screens that somehow just stimulate you so that you have difficulty sleeping. So just don't use these things if possible within an hour or two of bedtime. There are some blue light glasses that I don't know if they help or not. I actually did order a pair. So
Okay.
I'll let you know. But for those last minute checks on things or whatever, like I plug into YouTube at night and push on a meditation to go to sleep. So even that could be enough to like, is it worth it to listen to meditation when I just like stimulated myself? So we're going to try that out. But that's one bad habit you should try to get rid of.
I love it. And last bad habit that you should really try to break if you can is the things that are related to your posture, right? When you slouch a little bit, when you're sedentary a little bit, you know, we sit and have immobile moments too many times throughout the day to really do it wrong without causing ourselves some damage. And if we're not really thinking about it, because it's not as annoying as others, but it's really still can be hurting us. So straighten up,
Straighten
put your head up. Yeah, lift your head up and be a boss. Don't slouch, even if you are uncomfortable and feel like that's going to make you feel better, taller, stronger, faster, more awake.
Yes.
No, don't chill out, stand up straight.
And
sit up straight.
If you catch yourself in a slouchy position, one of my colleagues that I know from a networking group is a chiropractor, and she shared with me a little trick that, you know, like she wants me to do it every hour, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, and I haven't, but I do it at least once a day, and it's just basically being mindful of your posture, and then taking a little kind of a stretch up your head and back a little bit. If I'm doing it, maybe you can see, I don't know. And then, so you kind of stretch your back up and you kind of just feel your whole spine decompress. And then you gotta lean your head back and breathe out. And you just do that 10 times in a row. And it just kind of fixes your posture and gets rid of some of those little achynesses. But if you do, I mean, it really does make a difference. If you are having any back pain, try to do that. So she says do 10 every hour. But if you just do it a few times a day, it's better than none. So it'll help you start being mindful of your posture. So there's a few things that maybe you can keep, and a few things we maybe need to let go of, or maybe definitely need to let go of.
Definitely.
But that's what we have for you guys today. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for being with us. And when three or more gather, we are tribe.